I asked my brother, I said, what are your plans? How are you and Kate getting up there? And then a couple of hours later, all of the family members that live within the Windsor and Ascot area were jumping on a plane together, playing with 12, 14, maybe 16 seats.
You were not invited on that plane?
I was not invited.
Deep under Buckingham Palace, where no one was ever supposed to look, something was hiding. A long, dark tunnel, hidden for who knows how many years. No one knew it was there. Until now. When the FBI and British investigators uncovered the passage, they thought it was just another forgotten tunnel. But the second they stepped inside, everything changed. Their faces went pale. Their hands started shaking. Because what they found wasn't just old or mysterious. It was something no one was ever meant to see. And the biggest question of all, who built this? And what were they trying so hard to hide? The discovery of the secret tunnel. It all started with a tiny mistake. Something so small that at first nobody thought much of it. A maintenance worker inside Buckingham Palace was doing a routine check in the basement. Nothing exciting, just another regular day on the job. He was fixing an underground pipe when he noticed something strange. As he walked across the stone floor, one of the tiles beneath his feet sounded hollow. At first he thought nothing of it, but the sound stuck in his mind. So, out of curiosity, he knocked on the floor again. Hollow. He knocked again. This time, louder. Echo. That's when he knew there was empty space beneath the floor. He reported it to palace security, thinking it might be a structural problem. Maybe an old storage room. Maybe an abandoned basement. Who knew? But what happened next changed everything. That very night, security cameras in the palace picked up something even more bizarre. One of the basement floor tiles, the same one the worker had knocked on, had shifted overnight. No one had touched it. No one had been down there. Yet somehow, between midnight and early morning, the floor had moved. Now, this wasn't a haunted house, and this wasn't supposed to happen inside one of the most secure buildings in the world. By morning, officials were called in to investigate. At first, they thought it might be a sinkhole or maybe just old, unstable flooring. But when they finally lifted that loose tile, they found something that no one expected. A hidden staircase, leading straight downward. The air that rose from it was cold. Not the kind of cold you'd expect from an old basement. This was deeper, older. A cold that felt like it had been trapped for centuries. That's when the FBI got involved. Now you might be wondering, why would the FBI care about a tunnel under Buckingham Palace? Well, here's the thing. For years, intelligence agencies had been investigating missing historical artifacts, rare items, documents, and treasures that had vanished without a trace. Some believed these priceless objects weren't lost at all. Some believed they were hidden. And some even whispered rumors of secret tunnels beneath London, leading to places the public was never meant to find. So when this underground passage was discovered, the FBI, along with British intelligence officers, had to act fast. Because if this tunnel was connected to something bigger, it meant history had been hiding a very dark secret. Entering the tunnel. The moment they stepped inside, it felt like stepping into another world. The tunnel was narrow, barely wide enough for two people to walk side by side. The walls were made of ancient bricks, some crumbling, others covered in moss. The air was damp and heavy, carrying the smell of earth, stone, and something else. Something old. The deeper they went, the more the air changed. It wasn't just cold anymore. It was thick. It clung to their skin, as if the tunnel itself had been sealed off for so long that even the air didn't belong to this time. Then, they saw something that shouldn't have been there. Footprints, fresh ones. Now think about this. If this tunnel had been hidden for centuries, no one should have been down here. So who had left these? And how recently? The agents exchanged nervous glances. Was someone else down here with them? They pressed forward, flashlights cutting through the darkness. And then, they saw something even stranger. A single torch, still burning. That's when their stomachs dropped. If the tunnel had been abandoned for hundreds of years, then that flame shouldn't exist. Someone had lit it recently. But who? And where were they now? They pushed deeper. The tunnel stretched farther than they expected. The walls changed, shifting from neatly stacked bricks to rough, jagged stone, as if parts of the tunnel had been carved by hand. That's when they saw the first sign of something truly disturbing. A stack of wooden crates, half broken, covered in dust. One had split open, revealing documents so old that the paper looked like it would crumble with a single touch. The agents carefully pulled one out. The writing was faded, but the moment they saw it, their blood ran cold. Latin. Handwritten. Old royal seals stamped across the pages. Were these secret documents from the past? Lost records? Hidden messages? But before they could examine further, they noticed the tunnel took a sharp turn. And at the very end of that turn, a massive, rusted iron door. It stood half buried in the stone, its edges sealed tight with something that looked like wax or old cement. One of the agents stepped forward, reaching out to touch it. The metal was ice cold, even though the tunnel wasn't freezing. Then, as his fingers brushed the surface, thud, a sound from the other side. They froze. Everyone turned to each other, eyes wide. Was something in there? The agent hesitated, then pressed his ear against the metal. Silence. Then, another thud. This time, louder. This time, closer. The FBI agents pulled back, exchanging glances. Some of them wanted to open it, others weren't so sure. But before they could make a decision, the door shuddered, like someone or something was trying to get out. At this point, the team had a choice. Do they open the door, or do they seal this tunnel forever? Whatever was behind it, someone had locked it away. The real question was, why? And more importantly, what if it was never meant to be found? Who knew about this tunnel? Now here's the big question. Did the royal family know about this tunnel? I mean, think about it. Buckingham Palace has been standing for hundreds of years. You'd expect that the people living inside would know every inch of it, right? But what if they didn't? Let's say the tunnel was built centuries ago. Maybe it was dug long before Buckingham Palace even existed in its current form. Maybe it was once connected to an older building that stood here before. That would mean the royal family might not have known about it at all. But then again, how could they not know? We're talking about a tunnel right beneath their feet. Could it be that some members of the royal family were aware of it, but they kept it a secret? What if this tunnel was used for something they didn't want the public to know about? Maybe secret meetings? Maybe something even darker. And here's another thought. If the royal family didn't know, then who did? Someone had to build it. Someone had to use it. And most importantly, someone had to keep it hidden for all these years. So, who were they? If not the royal family, then who built it? And why? All right, let's assume for a moment that the tunnel wasn't built by the royals. That opens up a whole new set of possibilities. Could it have been built by a secret society? Maybe a group of spies? Or could it have been made for something even more mysterious? London is a city full of history, and throughout the years, it has been home to many powerful people. Kings, queens, politicians, war strategists, and even criminals. Maybe this tunnel was built as an escape route for someone important. Maybe it was a passage for spies during a war. And here's a chilling idea. What if it wasn't just used for transportation? What if this tunnel had a darker purpose? Imagine this. Centuries ago, someone, maybe a secret organization, dug this tunnel and used it to smuggle things. Or even people. Could it have been connected to human trafficking? Could prisoners have been kept there? Could this have been a hidden dungeon? The more you think about it, the more questions pop up. Because if this tunnel was built for a reason, and someone went through so much effort to hide it, then whatever happened down there had to be something big. Is this evidence of a hidden part of British history? We all learn about history in school. We hear about kings, queens, wars, and revolutions. But here's the thing. History is always written by the winners. What if there's another side to British history that we've never been told? If this tunnel was never meant to be found, then it's safe to say that it was part of a secret. But what kind of secret? Could it be something that changes what we thought we knew about Buckingham Palace? Maybe this tunnel was used during a time of crisis, and no one ever documented it. Or maybe it was deliberately erased from history. If that's the case, we have to ask, why? What was so dangerous about this tunnel that people wanted to pretend it never existed? Could it lead to another part of London that was once a secret meeting place? Could it be connected to old government dealings? Or could it be something far more mysterious, like a hidden underground network that only a select few knew about? The fact that no one spoke about this tunnel before means that someone wanted it to stay buried. But as we all know, the truth always comes out. Government cover-ups. Now, let's talk about the government. If something this massive was just discovered beneath one of the most famous buildings in the world, why haven't we heard about it in the news? Could it be that the government is trying to cover it up? It wouldn't be the first time governments have hidden information from the public. And let's be real. If this tunnel holds something really shocking, do you think they would just tell us right away? Probably not. Imagine if this discovery exposed something that could change the way people view the British monarchy. Imagine if it revealed something about past kings and queens that would make people question everything. That would be a huge scandal. So what does the government do in situations like this? Simple. They keep quiet. Maybe they've already sealed off the tunnel. Maybe they're investigating in secret. Or maybe they've known about this tunnel for years but didn't want the public to find out. But here's the real question. Can they really keep something this big a secret forever? In today's world, where information spreads like wildfire, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out. Could it be tied to a major historical event? History is full of mysteries, and some of them might just connect to this tunnel. What if it played a role in a major historical event? World War II. During World War II, London was a city of spies, hidden codes, and secret operations. The British government built many underground bunkers and escape tunnels during this time. Could this be one of them? Maybe it was an emergency escape route for the royal family in case of an attack. Or what if it was used against the royal family? Maybe enemy spies used this tunnel to infiltrate the palace. Maybe someone important went missing through this tunnel, and that's why it was covered up. The Cold War. During the Cold War, intelligence agencies like MI6 and the CIA were involved in all kinds of secret activities. Could this tunnel have been a meeting place for spies? Maybe a place where classified documents were exchanged? Maybe even a place where someone was silenced forever? Ancient royal scandals. The British monarchy has seen its fair share of scandals over the centuries. Affairs, betrayals, even mysterious disappearances. Could this tunnel be connected to one of those stories? Maybe a secret lover of a king or queen used this tunnel to sneak in and out. Maybe a missing servant was hidden here. Or maybe someone was imprisoned down there and never made it out. There are so many possibilities, and each one is more terrifying than the last. How does this change what we know about Buckingham Palace? Let's be honest. When we think of Buckingham Palace, we think of royalty, luxury, and tradition. But this discovery proves that there's another side to this place, one that has been kept in the shadows. If this tunnel really is as old as it seems, then what else is hidden beneath Buckingham Palace? Could there be more tunnels? More secret rooms? Could there be an entire underground world that we've never even imagined? And if the people in power have been keeping this a secret for so long, what else are they hiding? This discovery doesn't just change what we know about Buckingham Palace, it changes what we know about history itself. Because if a tunnel like this can stay hidden for centuries, then what other secrets are still buried beneath our feet? Are secret tunnels under Buckingham Palace real? London is an old city with a deep, complicated history. Beneath its streets, there's another world. Hidden tunnels, forgotten passageways, and underground chambers that most people don't even know exist. Some of these tunnels are hundreds of years old. Others were built in secret and never officially recorded. One of the most famous underground places is the Tower of London, which has tunnels that date back to medieval times. These tunnels were used for escape, for moving prisoners, and even for smuggling goods. Some say they were also used for something much darker. secret executions that history tried to erase. Then there's Whitehall, the center of the British government. It has underground bunkers and secret passages built during World War II. Winston Churchill himself used these hidden tunnels to move around safely while bombs fell over London. And let's not forget Windsor Castle, one of the royal family's favorite homes. It has tunnels leading in and out of the castle, which some say were used by kings and queens as escape routes during dangerous times. There are even rumors that some of these tunnels connect directly to Buckingham Palace. Now here's the big question. If these secret tunnels exist in other royal buildings, why wouldn't Buckingham Palace have them too? In fact, there are stories about a tunnel leading from Buckingham Palace all the way to Whitehall. Some even believe there's an entrance hidden inside a well-known London pub called the Red Lion. The idea is that if the royal family or government officials ever needed to escape quickly, they could take the tunnel instead of going through the streets. But what if these tunnels weren't just used for escape? What if they were used for something else? Whenever we hear about secret tunnels, we usually think of exciting things. Hidden treasures, spies sneaking through the night, or daring prison escapes. But tunnels can also hide dark secrets. And the one under Buckingham Palace? It might have been used for something no one was supposed to see. Think about it. Why would such a tunnel exist? If it was just for escape, why keep it a secret for so long? There must be another reason. One that the public was never meant to find out. One chilling theory is that the tunnel was used to smuggle people, but not in the way you might think. There have been whispers, rumors, and old stories suggesting that tunnels like this could have been used to move prisoners, spies, or even enemies of the crown without anyone knowing. Imagine being taken into the palace and never being seen again. Could this tunnel be connected to something like that? And then there's another theory, one that's even more disturbing. Some people believe that certain underground tunnels in London were used for secret meetings, rituals, or activities that had to stay hidden from the public eye. These stories have never been proven, but history is full of things that were once dismissed as crazy theories, only to be revealed as true years later. So what was this tunnel actually for? Was it a simple escape route, a smuggling passage, or something much, much darker? Possible theories behind the tunnel. There are a few possible explanations for why this tunnel exists. Some make perfect sense. Others, not so much. But they all lead to one big mystery. Why was it kept hidden for so long? Was it built as an escape route? The most logical reason for a tunnel under Buckingham Palace would be to help the royal family escape if they were ever in danger. Think about it. If an enemy army invaded London, or if a revolution started, the king or queen couldn't just walk out the front door. They would need a way to leave without anyone noticing. History has plenty of examples of rulers using secret tunnels to escape. In France, King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette tried to flee during the French Revolution. But they didn't have a hidden passage, so they were caught and executed. Maybe the British monarchy learned from that mistake and made sure they had a way out, just in case. But here's where things get strange. If this tunnel was really for escape, wouldn't it be common knowledge by now? Wouldn't it be recorded somewhere in history? Yet, no official records mention it. So either it was built in complete secrecy, or it wasn't meant for escaping at all. Was it used for smuggling? Smuggling is another strong possibility. Throughout history, tunnels have been used to move illegal goods, weapons, or even people without detection. Imagine this. Long ago, before modern security systems, Buckingham Palace was receiving something or someone that couldn't be seen by the public. Maybe it was valuable treasure, rare artifacts, or even dangerous people that the monarchy wanted to keep hidden. There's also the possibility that spies used this tunnel. London has always been a city of espionage. During World War II and the Cold War, intelligence agents were everywhere, and hidden tunnels were the perfect way to transport top-secret information without being tracked. Could this tunnel have played a role in something like that? Or was it something even bigger? Could it be connected to other underground networks? London has an entire network of underground tunnels, many of which are still unexplored. What if this tunnel under Buckingham Palace isn't just one tunnel, but part of a larger system? We know that the London Underground, the subway system, has abandoned stations and secret tracks that the public isn't allowed to see. We also know that old buildings, like the Houses of Parliament, have underground passageways that lead to unknown places. So what if this tunnel connects to all of them? If that's the case, the tunnel under Buckingham Palace could lead anywhere, to another royal building, to a hidden bunker, or maybe even to a place that nobody has discovered yet. And here's a crazy thought. What if the tunnel is still being used today? Imagine walking through London, completely unaware that beneath your feet, something is moving. Something hidden. Something secret. Maybe that's why the FBI got involved. Maybe they didn't just find a tunnel. Maybe they found something inside it. Something that wasn't supposed to be found. But what do you think? Was this tunnel an escape route? A hidden prison? Or something even darker? Do you believe the royal family knew about it? Or is there an even bigger cover-up at play? Let's talk about it in the comments. I want to hear your theories. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most mysterious discoveries, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. There's so much more to uncover.
Thursday marks 20 years since Princess Diana was killed in a car crash inside a Paris tunnel.
For years, people have wondered what really happened to Princess Diana. Some believed it was just a tragic accident, but others thought there was a secret behind it. Now, something unbelievable has happened. Queen Camilla has been sentenced for Diana's death. How did it come to this? What will happen to the royal family now? The truth has finally come out, and nothing will ever be the same again. How Camilla became a suspect. For years, people have whispered, argued, and even shouted about Camilla's role in Diana's tragic story. Was she really just the other woman? Or was there something more? Let's go back to where it all started. Camilla and Charles go way back, before Diana was even in the picture. They met in the early 1970s and fell in love, but for one reason or another, Charles didn't marry her. Instead, he ended up with Diana, a young, beautiful, and innocent woman who seemed perfect for the role of a princess. But there was a problem. Charles never really got over Camilla. Even after marrying Diana, Charles kept Camilla close. Too close. Diana wasn't stupid. She saw what was happening. Imagine being married to a man who secretly loves someone else. That's what Diana had to live with. And she didn't just stay silent about it. In 1995, she sat down for one of the most famous interviews in history. Looking straight at the camera, she said the words that would be remembered forever. There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. Boom. Just like that, the world knew the truth. Diana was suffering, and Camilla was the reason. People turned against Camilla instantly. Even after Diana's tragic death in 1997, Camilla was still seen as the villain. When she finally married Charles in 2005, many people refused to accept her. Some still blame her for Diana's pain, and now, with new evidence coming to light, some believe she played a role in Diana's death itself. But how did she go from being a disliked woman to a murder suspect? Let's talk about it. New evidence that sparked investigation. For years, the case of Diana's death was considered closed. The official story was that she died in a tragic car crash in Paris, caused by a drunk driver trying to escape the paparazzi. But was that really all there was to it? Recently, something changed. New documents were leaked. Documents that, according to insiders, were never meant to be seen by the public. These papers hinted at a bigger plot behind Diana's death, something much darker than an accident. But that's not all. Some former royal staff members, who had stayed quiet for decades, finally spoke up. One witness, whose name hasn't been revealed yet for security reasons, claimed that Diana feared for her life before she died. She allegedly told her closest friends that she believed someone was planning to get rid of her. And guess what? She even wrote a letter predicting that she would die in a car crash. That's chilling, isn't it? But here's where Camilla comes in. According to these leaked documents and witness accounts, there were people within the royal circle who saw Diana as a problem. She was too popular, too powerful, and, most importantly, she wasn't afraid to speak the truth. This made her dangerous, especially to those who wanted Charles and Camilla to eventually be together without any obstacles. Now think about it. If you were Camilla and you knew your path to becoming queen was being blocked by a woman the whole world adored, how would you feel? Some believe Camilla didn't just wait for fate to remove Diana. She helped make it happen. But is that really true? Why the case was reopened? For years, people who questioned Diana's death were dismissed as conspiracy theorists. But when so many people believe something, can they all be wrong? The pressure to reopen the case had been growing for a long time. With the new evidence coming to light, authorities had no choice but to take another look. The big question was, if Diana's death wasn't an accident, then who was behind it? And if there was a plan to eliminate her, how deep did it go? Investigators started pulling old records, re-examining statements, and questioning people who had stayed silent for years. One thing became clear. There were too many loose ends in Diana's death. Too many strange coincidences. And the more they dug, the more Camilla's name started popping up. At first, many thought this was crazy. Why would Camilla of all people be involved? But then, when the leaked documents suggested that Diana had warned about a plot against her, people started listening. Diana had mentioned a woman close to Charles, who might have had a reason to see her gone. Could she have been talking about Camilla? The legal pressure leading to Camilla's involvement. As investigators gathered more evidence, the royal family stayed silent. They didn't want to comment on rumors. But behind palace walls, something was happening. Lawyers were being called. Meetings were being held. There was a real fear that this case could turn into the biggest royal scandal in history. And when the police officially announced they were looking into Camilla as a person of interest, the world went crazy. Imagine that. A queen being investigated for the murder of another queen. It sounds like something out of a movie, but it was really happening. Camilla, the woman who had spent decades trying to win over the British public, was now at the center of a criminal case. Some sources claim that when she first heard about the investigation, she laughed it off. She thought it was ridiculous. But as days went by and more evidence came out, she stopped laughing. She reportedly became paranoid, avoiding public events and staying behind palace doors as much as possible. And then came the breaking point. One of the former royal staff members who had been close to Diana was brought in for questioning. What they said has not been fully revealed yet, but insiders claim it was something huge, something that directly linked Camilla to the case. Whatever it was enough to push investigators to take the next step. Charges and key accusations. The prosecution wasted no time. They made it clear from the very beginning. They believed Camilla was involved in Diana's death. But how? What proof did they have? First, they talked about motive. Why would Camilla want Diana gone? Well, everyone knows about the love triangle. Diana herself had said it. There were 3 of us in this marriage. Camilla was always there in the background, waiting. But was she just waiting, or did she take matters into her own hands? Then came the real bombshell. The prosecution claimed they had evidence linking Camilla to people who might have had a hand in Diana's accident. They brought up secret phone calls, hidden meetings, and even documents that suggested Camilla knew more than she ever admitted. But here's the real kicker. The prosecution hinted that Camilla may have been working with powerful people. People with influence, money, and the ability to make things disappear. Could this mean the royal family itself was involved? Was there a hidden network protecting her all these years? The courtroom was silent. People were hanging on to every word. Was Camilla just a woman in love, or was she part of something much darker? Camilla's defense. Then it was time for Camilla's lawyers to speak. They had one job, to convince everyone that Camilla was innocent. But how do you fight against years of rumors, conspiracy theories, and a public that never really liked you in the first place? Camilla sat still, her face pale, as her lawyers argued that she had nothing to do with Diana's death. They said it was absurd. They pointed out that Camilla wasn't even in the country when Diana died. How could she have planned something so big? Then they played the sympathy card. Camilla was a victim too, they said. The public had hated her for years. She had suffered. She had been called names, blamed for ruining Charles and Diana's marriage, and now she was being accused of something even worse. They painted her as a woman who had simply fallen in love with the wrong man at the wrong time. And then came the biggest moment. Did Camilla herself speak? Did she take the stand? Yes, she did. She stood up, hands shaking slightly, and looked straight at the jury. Her voice cracked as she spoke. I did not kill Diana. I had nothing to do with her death. But then came the twist. She didn't stop there. She turned the blame elsewhere. She suggested that if there was a conspiracy, then she wasn't the one pulling the strings. Someone else was. But who? Was she hinting at the royal family? The government? Someone even bigger? People whispered among themselves. What did she mean? Was she telling the truth? Or was she just trying to save herself? Shocking testimonies. And then, the trial took another shocking turn. Witnesses started coming forward. Some of them had never spoken before. Others had been ignored for years. But now they had the world's attention. One former royal staff member claimed they had seen strange meetings between Camilla and people linked to British intelligence. They had overheard conversations about Diana being a problem. A driver who worked for the royal family revealed something even darker. He claimed that the night Diana died, there was already talk inside the palace about what had happened, before the news had even broken. How could they have known so soon? Unless they had expected it? And then came the biggest shock of all. A former security officer, someone who had worked closely with Charles and Camilla, took the stand. He looked nervous, wiping sweat from his forehead. He took a deep breath and then said it. I was told to keep quiet. I was told Diana's accident wasn't an accident. Gasps filled the courtroom. Even Camilla's lawyers looked shaken. Who told him to keep quiet? Why? The judge called for order, but the damage was done. The jury had heard everything. The world had heard everything. Final verdict and sentencing. The courtroom waited. Hours passed. People outside were glued to their screens. What would happen? Would Camilla walk free? Or would this be the day justice was finally served? Then, the jury returned. The room held its breath. The judge asked the foreman to read the verdict. Guilty. The word echoed through the room. Camilla blinked as if she hadn't heard it. Guilty? Number that couldn't be right. The judge began to speak. He talked about the seriousness of the crime, the need for justice, and then finally he gave the sentence. Life in prison. The room exploded. Some people cheered, others gasped. Reporters rushed outside to break the news. Queen Camilla, now just Camilla Parker Bowles again, had been sentenced to life. And then came her reaction. At first, she sat frozen. Her face turned red, her hands clenched into fists. Then, suddenly, she stood up and shouted, "This is a setup! I didn't do anything." She turned to Charles, who was sitting nearby, his face pale and expressionless. Say something. Tell them. But Charles didn't move. He just stared ahead, like he wasn't really there. Camilla tried again. She begged, she screamed, but no one listened. The guards moved in, grabbing her arms. She fought, but it was no use. They led her away, her voice still echoing through the room. And just like that, it was over. But was it? Because as Camilla was taken out, the questions still remained. Was she really the mastermind? Or was she just a piece in a much bigger game? And if she was, then who was still out there, hiding in the shadows? So, what happens next? Camilla has just been sentenced. The entire world is in shock, and now the big question is, where does she go from here? Camilla's fate. Now, let's be real. Camilla is not the kind of person to just sit back and say, oh well, I guess I'll go to prison now. She has spent decades climbing her way to the top. She went from being the most hated woman in Britain to the queen of the country. Do you really think she will give up that easily? Camilla still has powerful friends, expensive lawyers, and, most importantly, King Charles himself. He has spent years defending her, making the public accept her, and trying to erase the memory of Princess Diana. Would he just stand there and let her rot in jail? Absolutely not. So, of course, the first thing Camilla will do is appeal. Her lawyers will argue that the trial was unfair, that the evidence wasn't strong enough, and that she was targeted because of who she is. They might even say that the case was nothing but a conspiracy to bring down the monarchy. But here's the problem. Appeals take time. A long, long time. While the process is happening, Camilla will have to wait. And no, she won't be waiting in her fancy palace. She will be in prison. Well, Camilla won't be thrown into just any regular prison. She won't be sitting in a tiny cell with 10 other women. She is still the queen consort, and whether people like it or not, she has special status. This means she will likely be sent to a high-security prison for VIPs, where she will have her own cell, some level of protection, and probably more comfort than an average prisoner. One possible location is HMP Bronzefield, the UK's most high-profile women's prison. It has housed some of the most dangerous female criminals in Britain, but it also has private cells for high-profile inmates. Camilla would likely have limited contact with other prisoners for safety reasons, but make no mistake, prison is still prison. There are no royal servants, no fancy dinners, no designer dresses, just a small room, a metal bed, and a life completely controlled by prison rules. Can you imagine Camilla waking up to the sound of prison guards, eating simple food off a plastic tray, and having no access to luxury? Would she even be able to survive it? And then there's another question. How will the public react to seeing a queen in prison? Would people feel bad for her? Or would they celebrate, saying justice has finally been served for Diana? The monarchy's future. Now, here's where things take a dark turn for the royal family. Because this isn't just about Camilla. This is about King Charles too. Think about it. His wife has just been convicted for being involved in the death of Princess Diana. His entire reputation is now hanging by a thread. People are furious. The media is going crazy. Protests are breaking out in the streets. And the big question on everyone's mind is, can King Charles stay on the throne after this? For years, there were already people who didn't want Charles to be king. Many believed the throne should have gone straight to Prince William after Queen Elizabeth's death. Charles was never as popular as his mother, and now, with this scandal, his rule is in serious danger. The British monarchy survives on public support. If the people lose faith, the system starts to fall apart. And let's be honest, after this trial, how many people will still support him? The Queen was loved because she stayed away from scandals. Charles, on the other hand, is now right in the middle of one of the biggest royal scandals of all time. Some experts believe that he will try to hold on to the throne, hoping the public will eventually move on. But others think he might be forced to step down, either because of public pressure, or even because of a decision made within the royal family itself. And if Charles steps down, who takes over? Prince William. Will this scandal lead to the end of the monarchy? Now, this is the biggest question of them all. Could this be the final nail in the coffin for the British royal family? We have to remember, the monarchy has already been struggling. Younger generations are losing interest. Many people feel like the royal family is outdated, unnecessary, and a waste of taxpayer money. But this could push things over the edge. For decades, people have suspected that Diana's death wasn't an accident. Now, with Camilla's sentencing, many will see this as proof that something dark has always been lurking within the royal family. And when the public loses trust, it's very hard to get it back. Imagine this. Millions of people demanding the monarchy be abolished. Protests outside Buckingham Palace. Governments debating whether to cut off funding to the royals. Could we really see the end of the monarchy in our lifetime? One thing is for sure. After this scandal, the royal family will never be the same again. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Camilla deserves this sentence? Will Charles survive the backlash, or is his reign doomed? And most importantly, do you believe this could be the beginning of the end for the British royal family? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you don't want to miss the next update on this insane royal scandal, subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when I drop a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.